Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got an intriguing report to share with you guys. First of all, Brian Stelter over at CNN has just created a conservative media hit list. Not only that, but Dominion employees, you know, the Dominion election software that everyone's been talking about, well, 100 of their employees have just mysteriously deleted their files on LinkedIn. But before I get into the report, I want to remind you, please don't forget to check out my partner at hidewithlisa.com. If you guys don't have a VPN, today is the day to get one because nobody needs to know what you're looking at on the internet. And a VPN can cover all of that for you. So check it out at their massive discounted rate at hidewithlisa.com. And they've got a 30-day free trial there. All right, so let's start first with Brian Stelter and him creating a hit list of conservative media. But don't take my word for it. Here's a clip.
The 2020 election is over, even though President Trump is still in denial about that. His claims of voter fraud are the fraud. Thus, reliable news sources are mostly moving on to cover President-elect Biden, to cover the transition instead. But there is an entire constellation of websites and talk shows that are in denial just like Trump. They are supplying disinformation about the election results.
So in other words, Brian Stelter is telling you, the American people, that the only legit source of news is the news that's sold out to communists, Democrats, and socialist progressive ideologies. That mainstream media is the one that you need to listen to because they're completely ignoring everything with regard to the election. You know, never mind the fact that for the past 4 years, their outlets have been talking about Russia interfering in the U.S. election, but somehow they know everything today and you just have to listen to them. And if you're a conservative outlet, such as the ones that Brian Stelter showed on his screen, and I quote, Fox News, Gateway Pundit, InfoWars, Daily Caller, Newsmax, Breitbart, Tucker Carlson, Mark Levine, Rush Limbaugh, Dan Bongino, and many others, if you're any of those, which are all conservative outlets, then you have no idea what you're talking about because you support the President of the United States. Can you see the ideology of this man? I don't know about you, but that sounds more like a political attack against conservative media than anything else. And an attack to boost ratings on his own show so people don't get on these other platforms and see what they have to say. You know, they want to feed you a one-side story. But that's not all. Ilhan Omar came on camera recently talking about how Trump rallies are Klan rallies. Take a listen.
Speak about me at every single rally. It didn't really matter where he was. Right. Sometimes multiple times in a day, as he had held his Klan rallies throughout the country.
Maybe this is why there's a lot of violent acts committed against Trump supporters. From statements like what Ilhan Omar just said, comparing Trump supporters to Klan rallies. I mean, really? This is above and beyond. But then, for icing on the cake, the mainstream media then takes it one step further and ignores the violence against Trump supporters. Take a look at this article on foxnews.com. Media takes heat for ignoring violent attacks on Trump supporters at MAGA rallies. But here's an interesting part, even more so, is that many Democrats won't even condemn the violence, not even Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. I don't know about you, but that's downright terrifying. What an upside down world that we live in. That if you're a conservative or if you support the president, then the mainstream media will turn a blind eye to violence, not to mention not condone the violence, and not to mention people like Brian Stelter will say it's okay to not listen to those outlets because they're talking about something that we don't like, that is AKA the election and what's going on with the election. But speaking of the election, how about this little piece of the puzzle where Dominion employees over on LinkedIn have literally deleted their accounts in mass. It's almost as if there's a little more to the story. Take a look at this article on gatewaypundit.com. Since Election Day, over 100 of 243 Dominion employees on LinkedIn have deleted their profiles. Since a couple days after November 3rd, Election Day in the U.S., more than 100 of 243 Dominion employees have deleted their profiles on LinkedIn. You can see on the screenshot here, on November 6th, there were 243 employees per the screenshot. Then if you look down a little bit further, and I'll circle it for you, on November 16th, there are just 140 employees. Now here's a screenshot showing 103 Dominion employees were removed just within the past couple of days. Now that website further details that some of those employees were located in Serbia. Serbia? I mean, I thought this was the United States of America election. Well, bottom line, there's something fishy going on. When Sidney Powell, who's on the Trump legal team, is talking about Dominion, as well as Rudy Giuliani, and questionable things that are surrounding it, which, by the way, Democrats have talked about in years past, but suddenly, not this year, but I digress. Either way, somebody needs to start asking why these profiles are suddenly disappearing. Do they have something to hide? Well, take a look at this article on gatewaypundit.com. Former Dominion project manager helped execute $25 million contract with state of Michigan while working as Democratic mayor at the same time. Nothing fishy about that at all. You know, maybe we should listen to Brian Stelter on CNN, who says, we don't need to cover any of that and just look a blind eye to all of it, you know, because we need to focus on Biden. Ugh. Lots of sarcasm in that last statement, by the way. But as a quick reminder, if you want to really follow what's going on with the U.S. election, I want to tell you, you got to get over to restrictedrepublic.com. Justice Knight has been putting out a lot of stuff there on Sidney Powell and just a lot of stuff we can't talk about here because it's YouTube. But check it out right now on restrictedrepublic.com. There's a 14-day free trial just to check it out. And that's whether you do the annual or the monthly. So again, that's restrictedrepublic.com. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel here. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.